what's up everyone? This is Bob from the Nerd Hub Radio, hosting our side project, Unscrewed. It's our casual magic podcast. Joining me today is Nate. How you doing, Nate?
What's up?
So, this is kind of going to be our reboot of it. We tried to record an episode before, but we couldn't get the video content to work properly, so I think we're going to kind of consider this our first episode for this format. So I'll give a little spiel about why we're doing this. Both Nathan and I are really casual Magic players. We're just, we like Magic, but we're not super competitive about it or anything like that. And I found it hard for me to get into a Magic the Gathering podcast because they're all really serious, in-depth for competitive Magic players, and I'm more casual, so whenever I hear them talking about 99% of the stuff that they're talking about, I can't really get into it. So I figured, hey, why don't we just do a spin-off? We both like casual Magic, you know, just kind of F&M style, just kind of hanging out and playing with people. So we just said, hey, why don't we just make this little podcast, and for the people that can't get into those really in-depth podcasts. So I think our first topic that we're ever going to really want to talk about on this is Avacyn Restored. Just came out not too long ago. I think Nate has some pre-release stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I'm Nate, and just to give me a background is I'm old as shit, and when I played back in high school, it was I started not high school, probably middle school, but I started around Weatherlight is when I started. I played a lot, off and on, but never competitively ever, and I actually got a DCI number for the first time like a month ago. It was a ton of fun. But anyways, I went to the pre-release for Avacyn Restored, and it was a lot of fun. And they did basically what it is. It's called a limited, I think. I may be misquoting that.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about limited. I think it's just basically when you play only within the new set that's come out.
No, it's like it's constructed. Constructed's when you play within your set, but
okay.
Limited is they give you what you usually do in a draft is you pass them around, but in the like the one I went to was $35, and you got 6 magic packs of Avacyn Restored, which is really cool to begin with because it didn't come out for a week, and so you're opening stuff up for the first time. Anyone opens stuff up, and so you open 6 packs and you make a 40-card deck out of those packs, and it was a ton of fun. They had this thing. I went to a Hell Vault event, and they had this big cardboard stone-looking thing, and it's what Avacyn comes out of. It's actually a card in Dark Ascension, and so in Dark Ascension, they had this card called Hell Vault. Well, she comes out, and also the other guy. I'm not even going to try. There's a bad guy that comes out too, and I was going to say Tybalt, but it's not him. It's Gristlebrain. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
They come out of the Hell Vault.
Story within the book, but I think that.
Okay, because you read the book then, huh?
Well, I didn't read the book. I have the little player's guide that tells about what's going on with it, but I didn't even read deep into it.
I didn't read it, but it was really, really fun. They had a Hell Vault so that what you had to do is you had this little checklist of things to do, and everyone got one. It was like a little 3x5 card, and they had a bunch of stuff on it, and whenever you checked off 5 things you did, you got to undo a seal, and there's like 30 seals on it. Once you undo the seals, it's just a sticker, and then you take all the stickers off, and then you open it, and everybody gets what's inside. And they're really cool. It's a lot of fun. Like one of them was like, cast a miracle card is a miracle, and that was one. Or win a game is one. And there was some funny ones like, if you and another character have the same creature on the table, you growl at them in a monster voice, and that was one. So that was pretty sweet. But anyway, so we undid it, and it was crap. But you got some dice, some double-sided tokens that were angels.
Did you say dice?
Yes, dice.
That's amazing.
Yes, you get dice, like the
I
ones.
wish they had those in fat packs. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been. I was actually pretty mad because I was pretty sure that the dice that we got were gonna be the ones that came out in the fat packs, which is even more of an insult.
I think I heard that they were.
They're not.
Because
The one I just
Because there's multiple colors in the fat packs, you know.
Okay, that might be it. Because someone told me they got a white one, and you told me you got a red one. I got a red one. I got the black. You got a black one there, but you got two double-sided tokens, and they're angel on one side and demon on the other. That are almost somewhat useless. And I mean, useful maybe. I don't know. And then you got an oversized card of one of the legends of the set, which if you play Commander or whatever, you could use. But basically, the Hell Vault was full of a lot of stuff you'll never use. But it was fun.
I got a bone to pick with that because, like, I imagine if I had been able to go out to one of the pre-releases, I would have been pretty disappointed because I don't have any use for any of that. Like, I'm not a huge Magic fanboy, so having an oversized card is like, I don't really want an oversized card. And then for the dice, that's cool, but I'm going to buy a fat pack, and I know I'm going to get one of the dice in the fat pack, so, okay. Getting the double-sided tokens is like, okay, well, I have to go get basically Entreat the Angels or some very specific black cards so that I can even make use of it.
Yeah.
And so, none of it was anything that interested me, like, fuck, just put some booster packs in there, you know? Just,
exactly.
That's cool, yay, I can open a booster pack, and who knows what I'm going to get, but instead it's like, take these dice.
And I wasn't. It was a fun event, but I paid $5 more because there was a Hell Vault involved, and I do not think I got my $5 worth. It was, but I mean, there was a lot of outrage on the forums, and they actually, I read a post like an article they posted on Magic site about yes that we realize you're pissed, but the idea was really cool. I did like the idea. The tournament was fun as hell. I lost my first match, and I won the next 3. I played white-green, which worked amazing. I mean, it was ridiculous. The synergy was ridiculous. It was just like cards worked together so well. And we'll go through that in a little bit, but I just wanted to touch base on that. Pre-release, if you ever... The pre-release for the one that's coming up, I'm sure they'll do a pre-release for Magic 13. Go do it. It was a blast. It was an absolute blast. It was fun as hell. You're seeing cards, you're not seeing cards for the first time. If you do if you didn't look at the spoilers.
But let's face it, you did.
But you did. But it's still, you're opening those packs for the first time. They're going to get it opened. And it was a lot of fun. I liked it. But that's about it. I would say I gave it a good A. It was a ton of fun. I got DCI points. My current win ratio on DCI, my first draft, I went 2 wins, 1 draw, and then this event I was 3 wins, 1 loss. So I think my win ratio is pretty badass right now.
Yeah, it's pretty good for someone who's pretty casual.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was great. We'll talk about drafting later, but no, I'll just sort of say that for later. So I'll let you go, Bob, and go ahead and go with the next thing or whatever.
Okay, so first thing to point out, this is all going to be a video file, and if I understand this right, we've been sitting on one screen this whole time. So I'd like to explain that. This is just the visual part of it is an addition. It's kind of a side component so that we can look at what we're talking about, you know, point out the things that we're bringing up so you can, you know, see what we're talking about. I just think it'd be neat.
Yes.
It's Nate's idea, and I think it's a pretty good idea. So, what I wanted to talk about first on, I guess kind of on my list, is the player's guide that you get with the Avacyn Restored Fat Pack. Like any other player's guide, has the top 10 coolest cards in the set. I kind of want to talk about that and why why the list is just completely retarded, and kind of talk about what cards would be on the list if it made any sense. And we can pull them up on the screen and point at them and talk about them, laugh at them, all that kind of stuff. So let's go down the list. Number 1 on the list is Avacyn Angel of Hope, obviously. So Avacyn Angel of Hope is...
Right.
Well, let's just pull it up and look at it.
Right there.
So we got an 8/8 Flying Vigilance, indestructible permanent that also makes your other permanents indestructible.
Yes. And
So
she looks
yes
bad.
to
That art matches the card. It's pretty damn badass. It's like, I'm here and you're screwed.
It's pretty sweet. I like that card. I want that for my green-white deck that I've been playing around with because Well, you just put the green in, ramp up to 8, bam, you win. I mean, that's just the you win card.
Yeah, it's very hard to kill indestructible creatures, and even harder if all of your creatures, even if they're 1/1s, it doesn't matter. It's indestructible, so you just throw it in front of everything. It's just gonna live.
You can try to control it, but once they're all indestructible, you're fucked.
Now, and a lot of people say this card is really OP, and I do not. I think it is a little overpowered, but it costs 8, guys.
Yeah, to be fair, other 8 costers, there's the first 8 coster that comes to mind is Lorthos the Tide Maker. If you remember that card at all.
Yes, I own him and I love him.
That's ridiculous. Pull him up so we can look at him real quick.
Okay. Just sorry. You're gonna have to help me spell him.
Lorthos, Lorthos.
Lortho. God, he had another key. All right, I'm glad it. Yes, I actually traded for this. He's going in my my extended deck. This card. The only thing when you play this card, he costs 8. If you play it and during their turn they do not kill it, you just won the game.
Yeah. Next turn just tap out because you do have 8 mana because you play.
Right.
You tap out the mana and tap down all their creatures and hopefully like half their land.
Yeah, and in the thing is, yeah. So and it's not they're tapped and they don't untap. So if they don't die that turn, which say you have an 8/8, right, and
so you're gonna at least swing for 8.
Sweet, at least that with every other creature. Even if you don't, and the thing is too is this is on the I'm a real big fan of the Planewalkers game they have on the PC and Xbox and everything, and he's in the big heavy hitter deck, and with a multiplayer he can still destroy everything. He's like, nope, I'm gonna tap everyone's creatures, and then after everyone's creatures are tapped, I'm gonna slowly kill each one of you. Yeah. And
playing the Magic 2012 on Xbox?
Yeah.
You play the I can't remember, it's Ancient Depths deck, and it ramps up blue-green.
Right.
Ramps like crazy.
Yes.
If you ever get Lorthos down, you win. Like,
yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
That's it.
That deck.
I mean,
he's my favorite elite legendary creature. I'm pretty sure. And you know what, I feel really stupid. You know what I feel stupid, Bob? I didn't understand the 8 until like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Because he's an octopus. I never looked and saw.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
You didn't think of that either? Okay, I don't feel retarded now. He's an octopus. That's why it's 8, and he's an 8/8, and it costs 8.
Cost 8. Tap.
Yeah. Okay, good. I don't feel as bad now because I said that, and everybody's like, they look at you. It's like, look at you, and it's like you're like, well, it's Star Wars. I've never seen that movie. People look at you like they want to.
They're having wars in space. That's what that's about.
No, but yeah, I just realized. Oh yeah, he can tap 8 things for 8 mana. 8/8 for 8. But let's go back to your other your number 2.
So let's go to another 8 coster, Gristle brand, number 2 on the list.
Gris. You're gonna. There we go. Okay. I do know this card, and a guy wanted to trade me at the pre-release. You got big cards of all these guys, and this was one of the big cards. It was random. Not everybody got the same card, and he wanted to trade me. I didn't like him, but he is good. But I want to hear your thoughts on him first, Bob.
It's hard to say, really. As an 8 costing black card that costs 4 black mana, he's not the easiest card to play by any means. You're going to want to run ramp if you're ever going to use this card, so you're thinking probably a green-black deck.
Right, and then that cuts your 4 black down. It's being pretty hard to get out there.
Yeah, that's a tough card to play, but if you play him, he's got really interesting stuff going on, because flying lifelink 7/7, then you can pay 7 life to draw 7 cards. So
the thing is, it's for me, when I see this card, I don't like it, and the reason I don't like it is, if you get him out, you should already be winning, and if you get him out, you don't need a new hand. And well, the pay 7 life doesn't matter, and I realized that after a while, just because he's lifelink, flying lifelink, 1 attack, and that pays for your 7 life. But
like if he deals combat damage, you can, instead of dealing the combat damage,
right,
just draw 7 cards. Which is what I would use him for anyway.
I could see him in a commander deck as your commander, but as a usable card, I really don't like him. But you know, there might be combos or more reasons for it that this is a better card, but it's big, it's nasty, it does stuff. It's just cost. Maybe if it was even 3 black, but
yeah. See, there's this thing, like, I wish he was a 7 costing card instead of an 8, which would be OP. I know, if he only costs 7. But the thing is that, like, I want to use him in my birthing pod deck, you know, my black-green pod deck, but I don't have a 7 drop in there right now as it is. And it'd just be so retarded to try to work in like a 7 drop to lead up to this 8 drop. You don't want to sack a 7 drop. Any 7 drop that you're going to put down is basically an awesome card.
right.
And
right. So I give it a solid C minus.
Yeah. I don't know about this guy.
Alright. What is the next guy?
Alright, next one, Sigard, Host of Herons.
Alright, start spelling them for me, because I'm bad.
Sigard.
Okay, found it. Alright. Okay, you know what? I pulled this chick out.
Me too, actually. I pulled that out of a booster pack.
I freaked out. I bought a fat pack, and I pulled 4 mythics out of it. I was ecstatic. But I guess you went first on the last one, so I'll go first on this one. She's good, but when I first looked at her, I was like, spells and abilities your opponent's control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents, and I'm like, who cares about that? That's really specific, and that's the one thing that really bugs me about cards. If the card is too specific, I just don't want to use it. But then I realize she's a 5-cost 5/5 flying hexproof, and that is awesome. I wouldn't say like 100% best thing in the world, but I would put her in a green white deck. I think I should, because I have a green white deck and I just pulled her, so I think it's going in. But you go ahead, Bob. What do you think? Did I lose you? Yep, I lost you. Don't worry, guys. We're gonna get him back.
Alright, I'm back.
Good job.
Sometimes I just have to refresh Skype because the call will just deteriorate over time. So yeah, I heard what you said. I have already worked that card into my green and white deck. I pulled that also. I was super excited because I picked up the green and white intro pack, and it just works perfectly.
Wow, that's a really good pull for the green and white intro pack, man. It's like a conspiracy theory.
The card for it.
Mm-hmm.
Which we'll talk a little bit more about the intro packs in a bit, but one thing I wanted to talk about for this card is Birthing Pod deck, which, if you don't know much about Birthing Pod, it's basically a card that you can use to chain. It uses green Phyrexian mana to work, and you can chain together creatures, so you sacrifice a creature, then search your deck for a creature that's 1 CMC more, converted mana cost more than that one, and you just keep chaining it every turn to get stronger and stronger creatures out there. You can combine that with Undying and enters the battlefield effects to really make the best out of that. But this is a great 5-drop target for a Birthing Pod deck because it's partially green, and when you're running a deck that's partially green, you want to have those flyers to make up for the fact, because green doesn't touch that very much at all.
Yeah.
And I thought this would be a great target, but you have to lean more towards the white for the Birthing Pod, and there's all these complicated aspects of it. So I think I'm going to want to splash some white, use it in a Birthing Pod deck also. But
yeah,
now,
that seems good.
This being number 3 on the list, I don't think it should be number 3 on the list. There is another card. Let's see if I can
wait, Grizzlebane was 2?
Yeah, this one's 3.
Ugh, I think Grizzlebane is 2 because of the lore. I mean, that kind of makes me mad, but go ahead.
Yeah, and that's like the least offensive thing on this list, I think. There's a lot of just random stuff that's like, well, this doesn't belong on the list at all. Go ahead and pull up Gizella, Blade of Gold Knight. So Gizella is Gisela.
Okay. Okay, and I did. This is the second mythic I pulled out of my fat pack. My fat
Now, this
pack.
isn't even on the list. This card
Wait, it's
has
not on the list?
It's not on the list at all.
What?
So we're 3 in, and I'm letting you know this is not going to pop up on the list, which is why I'm saying this should have been number 3, not the green and white. Because if we look at the effects on this card, they are ridiculous. I will just read them off. So for 7, which is a red, 2 white, and 4, you get a 5/5 flying first strike angel that says if a source would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, that source deals double that damage to that player or permanent instead. If a source would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent half that damage rounded up.
Yeah.
Compared to the
last
green and white flying hexproof that makes it so you don't have to sacrifice things, this one is ridiculous.
So it basically same cost? No, one more.
More.
But it's a really good mana combo. It kind of goes for the white red, but I'd have to agree. I pulled this and it's amazing. It's one of those cards when you get out, which would be really good. There's a couple cards that came out in the new set that allow you to draw full hand, I think, or close to it, and you get to draw quite a bit. You get a lot. There's a lot of red draw. A lot of draw in general in this set, and you get her out, and then it's pretty much done. A lightning bolt does 6. I mean, there's no lightning bolts, but
yeah, obviously.
Get my drift. I would say so. Is she on the list at all?
No, she is not on the top 10.
Okay.
And also the synergy with being able to play red-white, and there's a new land in this set called Slayer Stronghold that, for basically a red and a white and tapping the land, you can give a target creature +2/+0 and vigilance and haste until end of turn.
There's
and
also
very, very, very good.
And also with this card, which would work really well, is there's a white angel. There's a white angel that requires 1 less to play angels and humans. And then there's also a land that you declare a creature type, which you'd say angel, and then they
Talking about Cavern of Souls.
Right. Doesn't it make it's like 1 less for that?
Well, it says it specifically this way. It says, as Cavern of Souls enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, and you can tap it to just add 1 mana to your mana pool, or tap it to add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast a creature spell of the chosen type, and that spell can't be countered.
Yeah.
So that's how, I mean, basically, this set, just bringing up Cavern of Souls, has done a whole lot to just completely destroy all the control shit that was going on with blue. So you got Cavern of Souls coming out. There's hardly any removal in this set. Yeah. Specifically, you use Cavern of Souls to make it. You can't even counter shit that this Cavern of Souls brings out, and it can basically make a mana of any color to cast.
Yeah, why don't you play Avacyn with this, and then she can't be countered.
She can't be countered. Makes everything indestructible, including the Cavern of Souls. Just fucking crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to bring up that other angel because it's clearly a better angel than this one.
Yeah.
Though harder to play because you don't have the ramp from the green, but
yeah.
Okay, number 4, Rite of Ruin.
Oh, did I not spell it?
R-I-T-E.
Oh, sorry. Ruin. Here we go. So oh my God! Yeah, you
Rite of Ruin.
Choose an order for artifacts, creatures, and lands. Each player sacrifices 1 permanent of the first type, sacrifices 2 of the second type, and then sacrifices 3 of the third type. This is great. And you know, I would run this. I haven't gotten this card, and I would really like to. This is a rare too. Well,
not a mythic.
I wonder I hadn't got. I hadn't bought that many cards, but still. Red green is just popping at me right now. Like
yeah, definitely.
2 red, 5 green. You know, just pump this thing out turn 4 or something.
See, green is such a good addition. I'm starting to think to a lot of the stuff that's going on in Avacyn Restored, because you have so many high costing cards, but with green, just okay, throw in some rampant growth.
Yeah, I actually used in the draft, or was it in the draft? Was I running? I am totally confusing myself right now. But I in one of the drafts I did, there's a dude, and I can't remember his name. I think he's Avacyn Restored, but he no, this is a earlier set. Green guy for 1 that pumps for white. So he's like a inaugual, but he pumps for white. And I can't remember what set or whatever. But I pulled him and I used him in a deck that did not use white, and it was amazing. Just having a colorless out there. So
anyway, Rite of Ruin, pretty basic. Not a lot to discuss there. Just a good, effective card at fucking people up.
That wipes the board. And the other thing is that this is removal. This is probably one of the few removal cards.
But it costs 7, so I don't even want to call it removal because it's very difficult to play.
Yeah, it's not. It's more like wipe the board. But
right, I mean, as far as 7 goes, it's the same cost to play that Angel we just brought up, and I would prefer to play the Angel probably.
The thing is too, though, with this card, that you'll probably choose artifacts as 1 because they probably won't have any, and then you go to creatures and land. You'll probably do lands second because who cares about killing lands?
At that point, they have a lot of land.
And then you're gonna get 3 creatures, but
if they only have 2 creatures, then hey, kill 3 land.
But I tell you what, though, if you're running a green, or you're running some sort of mana acceleration deck, and you get this out early, this will just cripple your opponent.
It's very effective if you're. And
you could even go land on the 3rd type, and that guy's back 3 turns, especially if they're not dry on land very good. But yeah,
most definitely.
So I say head. I like. Do you say this is number 4?
This is number 4.
I like that. I like that.
Alright, let's go to number 5, one of the defensive additions to the list. Tandem Look Out.
Tandem Look Out. Alright, I'll let you read this one. I'm lighting a cigarette.
Alright, Tandem Look Out. So this is a soulbound creature. So basically, to explain soulbound, you may pair this creature with another unpaired creature when either enters the battlefield. They remain paired for as long as you control both of them. So, when he is paired with another creature, each of those creatures, as whenever this creature deals damage to an opponent, draw a card. This is number 5 on the best cards that came out in Avacyn Restored. Actually, the coolest cards.
Maybe they were doing it by art or something. That art's pretty cool. They're all sitting in trees and shit. No. This card is not only like not top 10, it's not in my deck. I'll tell you that. I mean, 3.
So as having this guy as a 3-drop, they're just better 3-drops. I mean, when it comes down to it, they're more effective 3-drop blues that I would want to use than this guy. I don't even want to use him. He's cool. I mean, it's nice to have him with creatures that are unblockable, because there actually is a 3/1 unblockable in this set, which should have been number 5 on the list. I think it's a fucking badass card to have a 3/1 unblockable.
The other thing is, though, this is scrupulous. So to make this card work as well as possible, you would pair him with an unblockable creature. This would take 3 mana plus, how much is that one? Do you know off the top of your head?
I think it's a 3/2. It's 3. A 2 blue and 1.
So basically 6 mana so that you can attack, do like 2 damage, and draw 1 card. Or you could just get a card that lets you draw cards.
Right, for 3, you could actually, I think, draw 2 cards.
Or for 3, you could get a better card that costs 3.
Right.
Right? I mean, I have to say this is a terrible choice, and I don't. Maybe they're trying to show off the different, the different, mechanics that came up with the set, but no. This is a different.
There's so many better. I mean, just to bring up one, let's bring up Silverblade Paladin. Silverblade being one word.
Silverblade? Okay, right before that, though, you guys were noticing that we sat for a long time and looked at this. This card is amazing, and we might talk about that later. But It's an uncommon, and I love it. So I gotta find my window again. That's the wrong one. Okay. But yes, that card should be above this card by far. Okay.
And it's also not on the list.
It isn't?
It's not.
Oh my god. Okay, what's the next one?
Silverblade Paladin. Let's pull that up and talk a little bit about that.
You want to do Silverback Ape? wait, one second.
No, I think I'll
Wait, 1 second. Wait, 1 second. Okay, we're gonna talk about this, and this is a thing I don't think a lot of Magic players know, but Uktabi, Orangutan. Okay, guys, this thing came out a long time ago, and if you ever need a card just to put in your deck, not because it's good, not because... Okay, I'm hitting search and it's just like not doing anything. What? Come on! You seeing this? It's not doing it. There it goes. I still got you, Bob? Did I drop you?
I'm lagging out pretty bad, but go on.
Okay, I started lagging. I don't know what the deal was. Okay, if you're ever thinking, what should I put in my green deck? What you need is monkeys humping. You seen this? Have I showed you this, Bob?
You haven't showed me yet.
Okay, now look at the picture. There's the orangutan, and look at the monkeys in the background. Yeah, that's monkeys doing it. And read this right here. It says, "Is it true in the flavor text? Is it true that when apes wear furs of gold when they marry?" How did that? There's much other. There's more suggestive cards, and I've seen a lot that you could take the wrong way. But I'm sorry, that's just monkeys humping. So if you're ever wondering, man, I got a green deck and I'm playing, extended or whatever. I'm playing Legacy. Uktabi Orangutan, so it's good for monkey humping. And then, okay, so what was the last one we looked at? Alright, here, Silverblade Paladin. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna have to drop out and come back in because it's slowly dying again. So
Alright.
just more editing work for you.
Okay, well, you go ahead.
Okay, so Silverblade Paladin, another soul bond creature. It says, as long as Silverblade Paladin is paired with another creature, both creatures have double strike. Costs the same as Tandem Look Out, but instead of giving it the ability to draw cards when it deals damage, it gives itself and another creature double strike, which is very powerful.
Yes.
This card is amazing. I actually just pulled this out of a booster today.
I don't have any. I wish I did.
Another very important thing about this card is that it's human. There's a lot of human synergy in this deck, or in this set.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, the red and white intro pack that uses basically only humans.
Now I noticed
Great
that
card.
is a huge thing, is that humans are huge in this set, and I was trying to make a red-black deck with zombies or vampires or anything, and I could not get enough vampires together that did anything.
I actually have a black and red vampire deck.
Oh, you do?
Because, yeah, I threw it together. I have 4 of the red and black effect vampire that gives them +1/+1 first strike. And I thought, what if I threw together a deck that was just about first strike? Just being a dick with first strike. So I did. I just made a deck that completely revolved around really high powers and low defenses and having first strike.
It's
and
awesome.
if it plays right, it's just like so brutal because you just can't do anything. It has a bunch of them that get +1/+1 counters when they deal combat damage, so it's like you don't want them to hit you because they're just stronger. But if you block them, you can't kill them. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, this card is ridiculously good. It's just because double strike on a 1/1 is good, but you're not going to do that. At third turn, you're going to have like a 2/2, maybe 3/3. Late game, you have like a 5/5. Holy crap! It's just and it's not just
and
that
you can keep pairing him. I mean, if the double strike that he's paired with dies, next card you play, double strike.
Right, you'd never attack with him. He's just sitting there.
He's an auxiliary card.
Yeah.
He just makes your other creatures have double strike.
And what's great is that it's first strike. So it's first strike. What's the great thing about double strike? It's not like, oh, double damage. It's one of those things like, you know, I realized
really.
I realized when I'm coming back, when I came back in the Magic, there was so many abilities that I did not know or understand or how they worked, and double strike was one of them. And then I realized, whoa, well, the first set of damage is first strike, so that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Because if you could theoretically kill it anyways, then you're gonna kill it. I mean, I don't know. It's great stuff. Great stuff.
So anyway, Silverblade Paladin, not on the list either.
Really?
Yeah. Instead, we got Tandem Look Out. So let's go on to number 6, Terminus.
Terminus. Miracle card that I have not even seen, actually. I have not seen this card.
So this is one of those, like, fuck you hardcore Magic players and all of your strategies cards, because you just top deck this and screw everything up.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a very cool card, personally. It's like, it's effective, it gets the job done, but I'm not a big fan of the Miracle mechanic that they've introduced, just because it throws such a wrench into developing a strategy and the way that your deck plays. It's like, at any time now somebody can just top deck a Miracle card, and the things that you normally would expect to happen in a deck, they just don't make sense. What are you doing?
I don't know. There's this thing, and I guess if you want to look at it at different angles, I just saw this little arrow. What the hell did I do? It was an arrow. I was like, is that for flip cards? Is it going to show me the back? I'm like, okay.
No, it's just to tap it. So that's what it looks like when it's tapped.
Thank you, wizards. I just really wanted to know what it looked like when it was upside down or sideways.
Best features.
Awesome. Don't make a usable search engine. Just add that little arrow. That's what I would like.
Okay, so that's Terminus. Not much to say about it.
Well,
really. It's just like
my thoughts on it is it's a little it's overpowered, but I can see its purpose. I think it's stupid, but there's a lot of times you're going to pull this up as a Miracle and you're not going to play it because you have a better field position than they do.
And then you're going to have to play it for 6 later if you ever want to play it, and it's just taking up space in your hand.
Mm-hmm. This is why Miracle cards I don't think will be used by... We were chatting on the phone earlier, and I'm like, man, we got to stop talking because we're going to make the thing later.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think competitive players are going to use Miracle cards. They're a lot of fun, though. I mean, I would love to make a deck that was like 90-95% Miracle cards just to be retarded, but I don't think this is worth it. Well, for one, you draw this in your opening hand, and what do you have in your opening hand? You have a piece of trash that will sit there and may never actually be used even when you have 6 mana. So
yeah, it doesn't have very much utility when it comes down to it.
Yeah. Alright, let's go to next. So that was the number... What number was that?
That was number 6.
It was number 6, okay. So we're going to go to number 7 now?
Yes, number 7 is Moon Silver Spear.
Oh, yes. And
I think that this one actually kind of does belong on the list. It's a very cool card.
And I'm trying to see... Can I see the promo? Can I... Well, okay, I really wanted to show the promo because the promo art you got at the pre-release is amazing. Like, the art is amazing, and this is like the worst art ever. But let's talk about it as a card, and then I'll try to figure out how to show you all the other one. But go ahead, Bob. You go first.
Moonsilver Spear will... it kind of makes your creature a better version of Geist of Saint Traft. So it doesn't make it hexproof.
Yes. But you could put it on a hexproof.
Because the Geist...
Put it on a hexproof.
What was that?
You could put it on a hexproof. If you wanted.
Right.
But,
Since the Geist of Saint Traft basically when he attacks, put a 4/4 White Angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, then exile it at the end of combat.
Yeah.
He's a little bit more aggressive than the Silver Spear, but being aggressive isn't so much the game in Avacyn Restored. It's a little bit more about building up your numbers and having all the angels. Angels win the game pretty much every time you play, from my experience.
And back to that other guy, the Mitchell Gaff, I have him, and I do not like him because he's a 2/2, and I have to attack for that to work. So he can easily die. And I don't understand why he's pushing $30 right now. Like, why? Yeah, he puts out a token, but it's gone, and he's probably gone because he's a 2/2. So, I mean, he has a really good cost. He costs 3. He's like ridiculous, but I think it's the cost that makes him good. But this card I think is really good. I think it's good, but not a 4. I wouldn't put 4 of these in a deck. One would be because it costs 4 to put out, and 2 because it costs 4 to equip. So it's very expensive to get out on the field and useful. But if you're able to combo with this with some of these really good soulbound abilities, I think that this is a really good. And I'm trying to find Moons of Sets. I need to find this real quick. I'm gonna try to find the oh shit. No, never mind. Okay, I just killed it. Wait, format, no. I don't know if I can show you guys a picture of the, no, I'm gonna do it real quick. The promo, what is it called again? Moon, Silver Spear. We're gonna Google search this real quick because the promo is amazing. Just absolutely amazing. You see this? Are you getting this right here?
Wow, that is amazing.
It is amazing. And the most amazing thing, this thing's foil. And when I'm sitting there at the tournament, I ended up getting 2 because they did a little special. And I bought a pre-made deck for $9, which is a good deal. But her eyes are completely see-through. So when you move the card, her eyes change colors. And this art is amazing. Just like this art they could have put on there. But now they're like, go over here, wait, it's a stick. It's a stick. Or that. Yeah. I pulled this one out of the pack and was really, really like bummed because I'm like, man, I need a full set of those promos. But overall I give it a B+. Alright, so what number are we on now, Bob?
Alright, we are moving on to number 8, Devault the Fiend-Blooded.
I will have a lot to talk about Devault. And I just hit enter instead of waiting for the thing to come up.
Am I still coming through clear? Skype is giving me really crappy reception.
No, I can hear you great. Alright, this guy is a whole, we could talk about him for a long time. I guess, who started last time? I don't remember. Anyways,
I'll let you go.
I'll go first. I have 2 of him. I got really mad because at the pre-release I got 6 packs to make my deck. I got no mythics. Then I won 3 out of 4 games, so I got 4 packs. And I got no mythics, and I'm pissed because that's actually like every 8 packs you're supposed to get a mythic. So I was like, well, wow, this sucks. So then I went and bought the cheap deck. That I got a white green pre-made because I really liked my white green deck. I ran and I pulled him out of the pack, and I was really like, yay! And I think I just lost Bob. No, I didn't. Bob, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. People are texting me and Skyping me, and I hate it. Okay, so you got Planeswalker Tybalt Fire-Blooded. He's a 2-drop. He is the first 2-drop. Okay. Who did it? What is going on? Somebody's messaging me. Tybalt Draw a card and then discard a card at random. That is your +1, which first you read it and you're like, that's not bad. No, it is bad. It's draw a card and then discard a card at random. Random is the big word there. So that could be bad. So anyways, he's a 2-drop. Everyone remember this. He's a 2-drop. So his -4 is Devault, the Fireblood deals damage equal to the number of cards in target player's hand to that player. Basically, he's the exact opposite of the other Planeswalker in this set, which lets you draw crap tons of cards and have no maximum hand size. So his -4 is pretty good. -6 is gain control of all creatures until end of turn. Untap them, they gain haste until end of turn. So yes, that's really good. Although he is really talked about, and I think I've talked about for hours with Bob about this, right, Bob? That we've gone back and forth on him, and I have 2 of them, so I made a deck around him, and I realized I couldn't make a deck around him because at first I was thinking, well, I'm gonna have to do a lot of flashback because a lot of cards are just gonna be chunked that I don't know what they are. So then I was thinking, well, maybe I'll do red-black was my first idea. And I'm like, well, I'll pull stuff out of the graveyard. That didn't work at all. I went red-green. Red-green worked the best for me. And I realized that you don't build a deck around this dude. You build a deck just taking into consideration that he's in it. That you need to have some way to play some stuff. Not all of it, just some of it from the graveyard. And, because you're still drawing a card and discarding a card at random, so you're not actually losing you're not losing cards. It's not like just to discard a card. So you're not losing any cards. You're just losing control of your hand, basically. I don't know if I like him. I mean, I own him, so he just is now gonna be in my deck. But he's a 2-drop. So that's pretty much all I gotta say. So I'll give you the floor, Bob.
Yeah, Devault's pretty interesting. One thing that you're going to definitely have to think about whenever you put him out there is he going to be defended by anything? Is he going to be protected? Because your ideal play of him would be turn 2 because he's a 2-drop, right? And probably playing him in a mono red since he costs 2 red and you want to play him aggressively. So what you're looking at is turn 1, Vexing Devil, which we'll look at in a minute. And that's just rolling the dice right there because Devault's going to play into whether or not they want you to sack Vexing Devil or to keep Vexing Devil. But let's say you have a different 1-drop for red that you're not going to be using Vexing Devil, you're going to use something else. So turn 2 you drop Devault and basically uses +1. Now turn 3 you're starting to look at some trouble because they're going to be putting down threats to Devault. And I think you're going to be playing more of a defensive game with red, and you don't want to do that. Now, if you can play it right, and you can play enough defensive cards to defend him, then you can get to his ultimate after, you know, that many turns. After 4 turns after having him out, you can ultimate him and then do an all-out attack. But that's still just a crazy, crazy sort of strategy to use him for, you know? But I think that's the best scenario of playing Devault is like play him turn 2 and just try to defend the hell out of him and hope that they don't have any direct damage spells that would affect him.
Yeah, and I think that when I was looking at him, he's also a really good 2-drop distraction. Because
that's true.
The chance so you lay down, say you're running. You get him down turn 2. He uses ability, so he's up to 3. So 3 turns later, you can use his ability and kill him. It's like I think you. I would like to just put him out and act like he's real important. Do his abilities, and I think I might take the 4. Because the 4 is 2 turns away, right? So you first turn is 2, you do this +1, you're up to 3. Next turn you're up to 4. do the -4, and you can do it. Well, I guess it depends on the situation.
You can do anything from 4, maybe 5 damage to him directly.
Yeah. He's a real iffy planeswalker. Like, he's the first planeswalker that isn't just a straight up badass, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you compare him to, like, Liliana, man, Liliana's way better.
But, dude, that artwork, it's cool artwork. He kind of looks like a total emoed out devil, but
it looks like if Davey Havoc died and basically came back as a demon.
You're like, bitch, my hand's on fire. It's on fire so much it goes over the card. Like,
right out of frame.
Out of the frame. So he's a whole topic on himself, and until I see I've been trying to search for decks with him. I'm trying to see him used as a weapon. But right now, for me, I just want to figure out how to make him function.
Yeah, I have a red-blue deck that's not really anything standard. It's just kind of a crazy junk deck together that he would kind of do well in a red-blue deck. Red-blue, a lot of draw and discard.
Yeah.
Works. Good flashbacks in red and blue, but still, I don't know if I want to use
and the thing was, I went to red and blue also when I was making my deck. I went red-black, and then I'm like, dude, I don't have a whole lot of cards yet, and I'm really trying to keep my my decks within this set or whatever. Why am I blanking? It's set, right?
Sure.
No, block. Okay, or this block. Sorry. Yes, I am. I am casual. I cannot remember the word block. I'm not using any of my other stuff, and I just like black is. There's not enough to get anything out, and it's not worth it to try to get stuff out. And then I did blue. Green has a lot of really good play from the. God, now I can't remember the other one. Flashback. Yes.
We are quite casual.
Quite. Okay, and then there's the you can tell me the name of this card we talked about earlier. It's instant. Target creature gets +3.
Wild Hunger.
Wild Hunger. And I'm actually gonna pull that up right now because we've been staring at this hard card for a while, and this card is absolutely amazing. Okay, so it's 3. Target creature gets +3/+1 and gains trample to end a turn. This does a number of things that are all ridiculously awesome. One, you're attacking. So they block. They say, hey, let's trade. They got 3/3, 3/3. Let's trade. Okay, guess what? I get +3/+1, which is +1 is incredibly important because then your creature just didn't die, and then you just sent through damage. Not only that, it's in your graveyard now as a flashback with red for 3 in red, so you can do it again anytime. It's like a flashback. It's like a flashback giant growth.
Which, granted, it's I mean, they're gonna see it coming the second time. Still,
right.
It has the threat out there, and it definitely helps you.
But you know what you can do? Unless I'm misinterpreting, this is what I did in the tournament that I won. I cast him twice in a row.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I cast him once. Okay, I paid the two in the green. He went in the graveyard, immediately passed the 3 in the red. Did it again, +6,
Carry over
+2.
6 damage.
Yep. He's gone, but... And, so I'm running, 3... I don't remember if I'm running... I don't think I'm running 4. That'd be a little... But I think I think I'm running 3, though, which is pretty heavy, but I really... No, I might even... No, 3. Because I really like this card a lot.
Yeah.
It's
Well, let's move on to number 9 on the list.
Sounds good.
It is Homicidal Seclusion.
Really?
And this card is interesting.
Why is this on the list? Go ahead. You go first.
So, the Homicidal Seclusion says, as long as you control exactly one creature, that creature gets +3/+1 and has lifelink. Now, I really don't know what I think of this, because there's nothing positive about only having one creature, you know? I don't want to pay 5 mana to turn having one creature into a good thing. You always want to have at least 2 creatures, because you need something to defend. You always want something to defend with, even, you know, in case they play something with haste, in case...
Yeah, and there's not a lot of black vigilance, you know?
Right. So, I mean, the lifelink helps, but in the situation that you just put this down for 5 mana, I'm guessing they've also put something down for 5 mana that's going to do more than 3 damage to you per turn. Or 4 damage to you per turn.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just... It sounds cool, because it applies to whatever creature you happen to have down, but it's not. It's not a good card.
I see this working in really specific decks that use sacrifice.
And there is an intro pack that is about basically just using blue and black to have one creature out at a time, and still, I just don't think it would work. I just don't think it's good enough.
I think it's a... Well, just a second, I got an idea. No, it still sucks. Wait.
Well, that's a little bit better.
Yeah, it was a little bit better.
There it is.
Yeah. Well, it was better on the side, but nah, I have to say
it's always good to get a little bit of perspective.
I think this is on the list for people to be like, what the fuck? Because if you look at this and you play Magic to not competitively, but you like to follow the sets and buy new stuff, you think there must be a reason this card exists, right? You know,
like the Hell Vault.
Yeah, it's just like, what? Okay, so
anyway, this is on the top 10 coolest cards. Let's go ahead and go to number 10.
All right.
Howlgeist, Howlgeist.
Oh, I have this card.
Yeah, I got one of them. So Howlgeist is I don't think he's bad at all. He can be a pretty aggressive card. He says creatures with 4 less than Howlgeist power can't block it, and he is a 4/2 Undying that costs 1 green and 5 colorless mana. So I have much better 6 drops than that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and the thing is, the Undying will never happen. I don't think.
I think it'll happen. I would put him into my Birthing Pod deck and put a 7-drop in there as well, so that I could sack him for a 7-drop, bring him back as a 5/2 that can't be blocked by anything that's weak.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is that the opinions we got on these cards are kind of skewed just because we're looking them at as like a single card. Like,
right.
With a lot of these cards that look terrible work really well with other cards. This card, I used it in my pre-release tournament, and he did good for me because they never wanted to block it. Even if they could block it with a 5, they didn't want to block it because then they just let it through. And even when they could block it, and the thing is, it's a real good. It's basically an unblockable 6/6. Well,
yeah, it's close.
Because if you have a card with a power of 5, a 5/5, you don't really want to block it because it immediately comes back as a 5/3, and then it will kill your creature. So it's I don't know. It's alright. It's a good uncommon. It's like when you a common when you're like, it's alright. Yeah.
Yeah, he works. He's just an uncommon though. So that's the top 10. Our crappy list of the top 10 coolest cards in the set. So let's talk about some specific cards that I think should have been on the list.
Alright.
Let's look at Commander's Authority.
Starts with a C. Spell it out for me.
Commander. C-O-M-M-A-N-D-E-R.
Okay, I heard you wrong. Yes, this
Commander's Authority is a very good card.
This is the one I had on the background during the beginning. It's it's aura, which I hate the word aura. I mean, why can't it just be enchant creature? I don't know why they had to change it. I don't know. I'm old school. I got really pissed when they changed the card layout. I got like really mad. I stopped playing. But anyways, enchanted creature has at the beginning of your upkeep put a 1/1 white creature token onto the battlefield. This is great because when I see this in a card, it's usually tap to do it. This just does it. It just does it. So it just poops out little human creature tokens every turn. And as long as that creature didn't die, you're cool. I like it a lot. I mean, it's kind of expensive, but I like it a lot. But you can go, Bob.
So Commander's Authority is... It costs 5 mana to play it, and you would think that's kind of a late game thing to play and that it wouldn't really be worth it, except for the fact that there are a lot of red and white humans that have effects that basically require you to put a human creature token onto the battlefield to trigger some effect. For instance, there's an enchantment, you don't need to pull it up, called Cathar's Crusade that says whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So you combine those two enchantments, every turn your creatures get stronger. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that does stuff. Just little things like that. Creatures that get buffed whenever a human enters the battlefield. So that is basically made to combine with those effects, and at the same time create more humans for you.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's a good enchantment. You have any other ones you wanted to go through?
Yes. I want you to pull up a card called Tamiyo the Moon Sage.
Okay, that's the other, how do you spell her name?
Tamiyo.
Tam. This is the other planeswalker.
Yes.
Alright. I'll go ahead and read it.
So Tamiyo the Moon Sage is the good planeswalker of the set. You're looking at a 4 loyalty counter, one that costs 5, 2 blue and 3 colorless. Its +1 is tap target permanent. It doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. Already better than Devault. Its -2 is draw a card for each tapped creature target player controls. Okay, I can see me using that in a tight spot. -8. This is ridiculous. You get an emblem with you have no maximum hand size, and whenever a card is put into your graveyard from anywhere, you may return it to your hand. That's just ridiculous. If you can ultimate Tamiyo, then all of your creatures are just not even going to the graveyard. They just go straight to your hand, play them again.
So just a second, I'm calculating 5.
Not only that, when Tamiyo is put into the graveyard, grab it back if you use the ultimate.
6,
so you use the ultimate for Tamiyo, go straight
7.
to the graveyard, then back to your hand because of the emblem you have, then you can play Tamiyo again to continue tapping permanents.
The only problem with this card, I would say, is from when you put her down, it takes 4 turns to hit ultimate, and she's a 5-drop. So that's it. She is amazing. She's really, really good. And I wish I had this card instead of my Tybalt's. But I have 2 of him and none of her. But I was telling this story to Bob on the phone earlier, and this is the chick. I was running through my old. We just play, like, I don't know what it would be considered, just legacy. Like, just any card we have, we just make a deck and do it. And people make infinite decks, which drive me nuts. But we have a big meet every Wednesday, and we play Magic and a big. We do Chaos games. We were doing a Chaos game, and I ran across this card, and a real old one, and basically it was like a mind control, but for anything, for any permanent. It was a control permanent. It cost like 8. And it was just control permanent. It's not your permanent. He was at a counter of 8. He just got up to 8 on this chick, so he's about to blow the -8. And I stole her because planeswalkers are permanents. So I stole her, and then I blew out the 8, and I pretty much wrecked everyone after that. I have to say, that was probably one of the more epic things I did. Man, it pissed him off, because he was so glad he just got that card. He got to play it, he drew it, he played it, I stole it. Well, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Bob.
That's awesome. That's like one of the best wins I've ever heard. Uh,
So bitchy.
okay. So we could go on forever about all the cards that are better than the cards on the list, you know. But I think we should wrap it up soon. So I want to look at one last card that I think it should have been on the list just because of the hilarity that is this card. I want you to search for Descent into Madness.
I did not spell that right. D-E.
Descent.
Okay, that's why, because I can't spell Descent into Madness.
Wait, are you telling me you can't spell?
Yes, I cannot spell.
Hmm.
I am really bad at spelling. Okay, here we go. Descent into Madness. Beginning. I don't know this card, so I'm just gonna read it. I might know it, but I don't recognize it. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a despair counter onto Descent into the Madness. Then each player exiles X permanents he or she controls and or cards from her hand, his or her hand, where X is the number of despair counters on Descent into Madness. It just seems
I want you to just think about that for a little bit, you know? Just let that sink in.
It just seems pissy. I mean, is there a point?
See, it will become hilarious because, let's say about 4 turns in, nobody has anything on the battlefield. And everything that you draw at the beginning of, let's say you control it at the beginning of your both players have to exile everything out of their hands at that point. So the game turns into a completely different game. After it's been out for long enough, then the game just becomes whoever runs out of cards first loses.
Oh, okay. I thought it was said library. So this is a what do you call it? You know, when
Broken?
No, it's a backup plan for your mill deck. Alright, my mill deck isn't really working so well. Slap this down, I have more cards than everybody else because I've been milling them.
You see, there's nothing that you can do with this card because at the point that it's been out for maybe 5 turns, you can't keep any land on the field, you can't keep any creatures on the field, and you can't keep any cards in your hand for more than a turn. So you can't play anything ever, basically.
Yeah, but so each controls in the same where X is the number of despair count. Okay, so it's your upkeep though, so they can draw and play 1 card during their turn. No, they can't. No, because they are eventually gonna have to sacrifice their lands, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, permanents. Once they're out of creatures, they got to get rid of their lands. Then they're just screwed.
Because then all they can do maybe once a turn is play a land and then instantly sacrifice it afterwards.
Huh? Well, if you theoretically had enough creatures to sack, and you had land, you could play a very small cost, very small cost spell during your turn because it only happens during that one person's.
Well, let's say that
upkeep.
you play this, you have 5 mana, so you've got 5 lands down and 2 creatures down, and you play Descent into Madness, okay? So your next turn you have to sack 1 thing. You're like, nah, I can lose 1 of the mana. Next turn you have to sack 2 things. Next turn you have to sack 3 things. And by maybe turn 5, things get out of hand.
I don't understand.
Like if you don't destroy this enchantment.
Yeah, but what does that end up? That just seems like it just seems like a really.
See what I'm getting at?
Not really. I don't see where this card's going. For what I see right now, it makes the game really pissy. It makes it like, okay, we better kill each other fast because in 6 turns we're just gonna be passing turns. Right.
Exactly. That's what's hilarious about it, is because I can just see this completely backfiring on somebody, and just being like, well, now the game is just like, who has less cards in their deck? Okay, you lose.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just this is if someone played this on me, I'd hate them. In a chaos game? Oh my god. This would just be like this would be like something I pulled in a 12-person chaos game. I played this old card called Ensnaring Bridge. And Ensnaring Bridge, Creatures cannot attack who have a power that is greater than the number of cards in your hand. Well, I didn't have any cards in my hand, so nobody could attack. For like fucking
Wow.
30 minutes, and everyone hated me because no one had any disenchants, and we were just passing turns. Everyone was building up huge armies. Everyone hated me, but I'm really trying to grasp. I think that's what this is. This is a Mildex final goodbye. This is like, I've milled you enough. I'm putting this down and hoping I can live. Yeah, I can see that.
See, I want to sideboard that just so whenever I play against a graveyard deck, I can be like, fuck you.
Because it's your hand and permanents you control. You get to choose, but still it doesn't really matter. Because eventually they're all going to be gone. Yeah, I like it.
And then it comes down to who has the most cards in their library. So against a graveyard deck is down to like 20 cards because they've been burning through their cards like that. And it's like, well, you just lost.
Yeah, I think now that the more and more, because it took me a while to understand this card. And
yeah,
this
first I thought
card,
it was a viable card, but this is almost broken.
No, it is. Yeah, it's what it is. You know, a lot of decks that you have, like the Planeswalker we just showed. She has ultimate, right? And that would be that kind of a deck's ultimate, a draw deck ultimate, counterspell ultimate, whatever. This is a mill ultimate, and this is probably the only mill ultimate. I think that's the only reason you would ever play this. But I mean, this is casual innate. I see no reason for this other than I've milled you, and then as soon as you can get this thing down, you get it down, and you try to mill everyone as much as you can before, because it saves your life. It saves your life. No one can kill you if there's no creatures.
Yeah.
Right? And then it's just a mill contest.
So yeah, that's basically the last I wanted to look at. There are some other cards, but honestly, my Skype is just messing up too much, and I can't manage it for much longer. So I think we're gonna call it a show.
Call it a show on the top 10. Next show we'll be doing drafts. We're gonna show you some cool sites you can do mock drafts, and being a casual podcast that we are, drafts are a great way to get into playing a little bit competitively, but it's not really that competitive. It's just fun. You get cards for paying money, and I'd do it every week if there was one in town. But yeah,
and it's a good opportunity to have a conversation about why some cards are better than other cards.
Yeah. It's great stuff. So that's what we would do in next show, is be booster drafts, how they work, what you should do in a booster draft. But don't take a lot of my advice, because I've only done a couple. So, but I think I'll sign out, and I'll let Bob sign out, and I think that'll be it.
Yep. Well, it was fun talking about this really crappy list of cards, and how poorly they stack those up.
This descent into madness.
Yeah, and the descent into madness.
I think
whole thing has just been madness.
That should be the name of this episode, I think.
Yeah. Sounds good.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Come back and listen.
We'll draft next time. We'll see you guys later.
All right. Bye.